Hello, welcome. I'm going to continue to talk today about my book, King Paimon, The Lord of the Endless Silence, The Lord of the Abyss. It is a book I have written. I'm the author, Anaiz Giulia, and this is a recording from my playlist, King Paimon. Now I have many recordings, and I think this is number 72. And last time I did together like 2 recordings. Sometimes they are longer, sometimes they are shorter, no? But it is like a continuation. No one can listen to the album from the first note to say, you know, the next or the continual chapter, no, or recording. I have arranged them in this way. The book, it is the book, a grimoire. It can be bought on Amazon, and it is a very beautiful book. It's a grimoire. It's a large book, and deals with the theme of King Paimon. No, the story. It's a fantasy story, a fantastic story. It does have element of magic, no, and at the same time it is very beautiful story. It is a love story that somehow opens up in the desert and continues through the desert, no, towards something new, towards the water. So we have many symbols, the symbols of Paimon, which we discussed, the animal, the symbolistic, no, the meaning, somehow to show that the thematics are one, no? That's how I wrote the book, the King Paimon. I worked around 3 months on the book, and it has been always like continuous of ideas, no? Because almost was my decision. If I have written the book, now I am going to still record and talk about King Paimon or other books, no? Or especially here for King Paimon's book only. And the book, as I said, can be bought on Amazon on paper, or can be downloaded in Kindle format, no? One can read electronic or paper. I always prepare. I love to have paper, but there is this option too. It is a large book, as I've said. It has a very beautiful cover. One can find it on Amazon, and the main thing, no, in these recordings is, of course, I always present a little the book, but is to discuss further different subjects or ideas or visions or anything, no, so to say, like we have done in other recordings as well. So the thematics is always a little open. That's how one has to enter, no. One can always speak more, always can say no, or something new, or almost like if one has an idea, one can get further ideas on the subject. So pretty much this what was with Paimon. The character in the book, now I try to represent as much as possible the real world, now, who is Paimon, searching for different clues, searching for different keys, for different stories. Now, as I have included in the book, it is a very large book. There are many stories interconnected with one another, all under the name of Paimon. No? So this is very, it's a hymn form. It goes with the beginning of the book until the end. It has these very nice rhythms to it. I have worked a lot on the text, to be as perfect as possible. It was almost to say Paimon was like my teacher. He was very strict, and I worked more detailed, more advanced, on this book. As I said, because of the subject, the large manuscript and way of arranging the text in this hymn form, but it has the meaning. That's why it is a grimoire. It has this hymn form verse, so it is a very I want to say meditative or intuitive type of read. One has to like it. One has to try it out to read. And finally, it is a story too. Different stories, I've said, but at the same time, it is one big story. And it is, I want to say, the story doesn't have an end. No, of course, one can continue the story. It's not. In general, all my books don't have, it's almost like an open end always, and King Paimon for sure, because almost to say the subject is never finished. This is to speak too about, so to say, the power, the meaning of King Paimon, because he's so wise, he knows so much for who he represents, So we want to say, well, there's always a meaning, If we think of the exercise with the mirror, there's always a meaning. There's always some type of translation. It's like 2 mirrors. It's like one is the origin of one, at the same time the other exists too, but they reflect each other, Things are a little like the mirror always has perspective of memory, or something very old, or something hidden, no? Or something that can be multiplied. So the mirror has more qualities than one. That's another element. And the different aspects, in every recording, as I've said, I've talked already quite a lot. It's always like, okay, what else new? Like, I don't want to repeat always the same things. At the same time, I do make a recapitulation of what is the subject in every recording, no? Of course, my main focus is to speak about the book, no? King Paimon. And as I said, it's my book, so I have a very strong connection to the book itself, to the moment I have written it, no? How much time I took, how was the work for me, how I thought about the subject, or how I came to the idea, no? Or what was my research in one way or another, no? As much as I could. Of course, it's like part of the recording. The book itself is just the hymn, the aesthetic, the cultural, the book itself, no? The story itself, or the storyline, no? As I said, most of all, it is a grimoire. I included in the title as well, no? And the element, which, let's say, for me was very beautiful, is definitely the meeting with Paimon and the girl, no? How it is described, at the same time how Paimon represents himself. I love the beginning of the poem. Then it's very interesting, no? He speaks about things from the past. Then it's almost like something new comes in, which is the girl in the market, no? That he meets during his travels, and the recognition between them two, no? What one meant for one another, no? And King Paimon, as I've said, he's always a helper. He was able to hear the girls pray, no, in the silence, because he can hear silence. He's the one who listens in the silence. That's King Paimon, no? So he's able to read or understand her feeling without her talking. So the girl almost like didn't really show, no, her true emotion. At the same time that emotion was there, it was just hidden, and he was able to read, no, to see her for who she is. And of course, King Paimon offered to help, no. It was almost to say he already came prepared for her. That was like a surprise on both sides, no. And then is the travel through the desert. I love the scenery in the desert. It's very, very beautiful. There is the how must I say, the travel or their experience, no, that's something very beautiful. It's almost like their own private, no, journey that they get more into dialogue, no. The girl asking things, and he responds, and there is a deeper connection towards Paimon, a deeper understanding. And that is represented too in the desert, the fire, the discussion. There's always a very, very romantic setting, no, in the desert, with the starry night sky, or the golden deserts, the night, no. But at the same time, it gets to a cooler setting. At the same time, it's warm and cold, no. So there is the contrast of the day in the desert and the night in the desert, the difference, no. And of course, the focus is in the travel further on, no? It's almost like, as I said, it's the travel. King Paimon travels on a dromedare, no? That's almost his symbol, his animals. We have spoken about this in different, so the symbols which repeat, they are important, or more important in the story. They carry more meaning, or they have more power. One can understand more through them. That's why, hence the repetition. It has a meaning as well, and not to say only this, no? And sometimes, the story does move fast, but there is also to say, like, even if there are like four main parts, a little different, the story is connected, no? Because it's a large book, I had to change the setting, so it's almost like a story, the story continues, the story, has no end, no? The story is still in writing, no? There's this feeling. And sometimes, when I speak about the different setting, even this situation of King Paimon, there are almost like other books enter, no? I have written after Paimon other books that are connected in a way, in the same symbols, but in a very different way. So Paimon's way, I want to say, is very, very unique. There is only one way, that's Paimon, no? There's no one another, because there's no other Paimon. He is that unique, no? That there's only one Paimon. And his name too, no? I discussed the numerology, or the magical aspect of his name, no? with the letters, with the symbols, with the numbers, with the shapes, with the colors. One can translate it to either language or paintings or different examples. Mirrors, objects, or candle, or visions, or something in the story itself. So the book does have this part. It deals with past, present, and future. Mainly past, but the story does have this, of course, continuation in the future. And the middle part is the main part, as it's supposed to be. I kept the main part the strongest, the middle, the advance, the story itself, the peak of the mountain, and then there's it's almost like the sea has been reached, the last chapters, the real home, or the real place. So there's this changery of scenery, It's like 1, 2, 3. It's like, okay, beginning, middle, end, and then there's the different story that correlates with other stories, and somehow the book has been made in this way. As I've said, it is a large book. It has 745 pages. As I said, it is a large book, but it's a very beautiful book to have at home and read. And I really enjoy to talk about the book. As I said, I enjoy the process of writing the book, the knowledge, the almost like own satisfaction. I always call King Paimon book my masterpiece, my number one always, and I always give her this title to my book. Other elements, is almost the time, or the silence, or the space, or how long, there's a waiting part that always connects with Paimon as well. To say, as I said, Paimon teaches in different ways. To say, you cannot ask him to come. He will appear. So there's the element that he is sovereign. He's independent. He doesn't have to. He will not appear if he doesn't have to. He cannot be forced. He cannot. There's the element of Paimon, of freedom. At the same time, not. There's always say the colder part, of the aspects, of Paimon, to say in the chamber, it all seems cold, but it's not. There's always like a very soft tune or a melody that accompanies the story, and the element of water. It's always about fertility, about water, about time, or the black, or the element of obsidian, or the element of the snake, this all symbols, they're all part of his stories. The dark tiles, or the number of them, or a lot of geometry that connects Paimon to as well, through the visions and through the colors, And sometimes it almost can be felt in the absence too, There's always a part of the meditative part that one has to do. As I've said, for me, it has been writing the book, that connected me, or speaking about the book, of course, that's to say the subject is understood by the book, always. It's like, if you want to understand the subject, you have to go by book, by the book. So it's like one can discover their own ideas too, through the book or through studying the subject. It's not like there's the part of the interest, and I think the book is a great way. It's like entertaining at the same time. It teaches something interesting or new, or something advanced or beautiful, or creates beautiful settings. The settings I try to make very soft, very, very beautiful, or very connected to the story itself, what happens in the scene itself, the element of music, of the song, of the silence, all the elements connected to each other in each scene. And there's a big focus on the Madara, on the camel, of the sand, the scenery of the sand, as I said, of the dunes, of the desert. It speaks about the beautiful, of nature, this desert as we know it, the hotness of the sun, or the element of beauty, that correlates with the desert, with the sands, with the sky, with the stars, with all the elements, There's element of air, which is warm or very cool, or more warm. At the same time, there are different part of the desert, and the desert is not empty, no? The desert is home as well, no? The desert has actually a lot, no? And Paimon, when he travels through the desert, he is always like a jouveneur, no? Like a free spirit. He goes there, even he has been there, like it's always the first time, no? He's always sovereign. He always enjoys it as first, no? There's always the element of new. He always looks towards the horizon, always towards the future, no? This very beautiful element of Paimon as well. At the same time, he's very connected to the environment he is, no? And at the same time, Paimon is always protected. No? This the power of Paimon, as I said, of the magician, of the power of Paimon. No? All the elements he carries, they're all protected. They're all elements of magic. At the same time, there is something almost like Paimon represented like by a mathematician or a scientist, or a teacher, or someone that shows things, and the way he shows you, he teaches always different, no? And the book is really, I would say, one, as I always say, has to read it for himself or herself. I always speak, no, I try to represent the subject as good as I can. I said I'm the author. Sometimes, my view, of course, is a little different than a simple reader, in the meaning of I read the book, or I understand the book in different ways. And it is, I like the element of a larger, a grimoire should be larger in size, of course. I cannot force the pages of my books, no? The editing that I do, everything, it's as much as I feel that the story is written, no? I cannot, sometimes it's the perfect size for the book that it is. It's representative too as well for the book. And to the subject of the book as well. There are sometimes different elements, no, that work together in a beautiful way. And that's the element of important thing that we find in Paimon's book as well. There's always a road ahead. There's always a continuity. There's always something, to the new horizon, something good. There's always, the element, of the camel, of the desert. And the mathematical, or more like the scientist part of Paimon, it is shown as well, no? As I've said, Paimon reveals things about himself, sometimes not. So that's, of course, his choice, he's sovereign, no? It's not to say that they are not there. There's always the element of minus not always being minus, no? There's two ways to have minus, or two ways to have a plus, no? Depending, there's always more answers to a solution, or the solution, if it has one answer, doesn't mean that all answers have to have one answer, no? Or every question has to have one answer. There can be a question has more than one answer, no? They're all right. So it's almost to say 1 + 2 is 3, no? But if there's another element that combines, no, it can change the result. So there's the element of transformation, or the alchemy, no? Or, as I said, always when one speaks about a large subject, one doesn't want to generalize. As I said, it's always almost to say it is the wrong term, no? But that's a part of Paimon too, the terminology, no? Almost like you need new words, or you need to be able to connect things in a different way, no? He shows different ways. He teaches not only in one way. That's what I want to say. That's what he's the meaning of it, no? It comes in different ways, in different examples that I've spoken in other thematics or recordings. So the element of repetition always connects even the recordings to one another, no? It's like things are a little bit, sometimes very easy, very open, sometimes a little more intricate. And Paimon, as I've said, he is a teacher, but he has a very soft way to teach. He's a true teacher, no? And the element of knowledge, the element of history, the element of past, it is another part of Paimon. same time, there are many different elements of pain that one can still talk, no? That I would still want to discover in other recordings. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.